All right. Let's talk about rapport today a little bit. This is for Wes Schaefer's 12 Weeks to Peak and your strong accountability program. And it doesn't have to be just for the end of the year. You can get in there. It's free. Go talk to Wes about it. I'm sure he'll let you in. For 2023, the first month of the 3 months of 2023, first quarter. All right. Do you want to do well there? I'm going to continue doing what I've been doing. All right. So let's talk about rapport, because a lot of people seem to think of it as this mechanical thing, that it's a step in the sales process, right? It's a stage. Oh, yeah, they say something and you're like, yeah, I know about that. I empathize with that. And I never really bought into that, right? Like, my whole thing is about being genuine. And I feel being genuine is far more valuable than trying to display some sort of connection that you may not actually have with a prospect, right? If somebody brings up something and I don't know about it, I'm going to tell them I don't know about it, and maybe I'll apologize a little bit for it, or kind of make a joke about it or whatever. But I'm going to just say I'm not going to fake it, number one. Now, there's a lot of people out there who are not faking their attempt at rapport building, right? They do actually have experience camping in the Appalachians or something like that when that topic comes up, right? But it can seem a little bit disingenuous, particularly if you're talking to somebody like me who understands sales and sales process. And so if this like thin veneer version of rapport comes out, is extruded by you, right? I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay. Thanks for the attempt at bonding. It didn't work, didn't stick, But being genuine, right? Sharing a genuine story. Be brief, right? With these things, don't go into a long thing about what you did, right? Because the spotlight needs to be kept on them. But again, I feel being genuine is far more valuable and effective in a sales situation. And so rather than trying to build rapport, because this is the beginning of the sales conversation, right? Rapport can actually be built anywhere. Remember, that person is not really there for you, right? They're there to learn about what solution you can provide to their problem. Okay. So provided you're not a jerk, provided you're not so badly tempered that they're like, I'm not letting that person have my money, right? Which is a very real possibility in sales, where people get upset, prospects get upset, and they're like, I don't care whether that solution is right for me or not. That salesperson's not getting that commission. They're not getting my money, right? They will put up with a whole lot, right? And or maybe I should phrase that differently. They will accept a lot more. And so if you're genuine, you're like, this is me, right? Like, I don't do skydiving. I'm not going to do it, right? And well, might as well never not get out of your front door. Well, that argument makes no sense to me. The two things are completely different in my mind. But so I'm not going to attempt to bond with you with a rapport story about something like that, right? And if you say we went skydiving, I'm gonna be like, oh, very impressive, and then move on. I'm gonna move on to something else. Now, somebody I was talking with, Zach, yesterday, reminded me of something that was really good. He was talking about sales and closing and that, and the idea of Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, which from his perspective kind of surprised me, because he doesn't seem like the kind of guy to really like those films, but maybe I don't know him as well as I think I do. Right? So so he says Gandalf doesn't like tell them what to do usually, right? He doesn't march in and say, this is what you must do. I think he told the hobbits to like get to Bree or something like that, and that was about it. And then we'll figure it out, right? But usually what he does is he gets all the facts together. He sits everybody down so that there can be an open discussion, and then lays it out. Like, guys, this is the situation you're in. These are the constraints. This is what you've got to work with, and this is your goal, right? Everyone agrees on that, right? So how are you going to do it? And that's an interesting approach for us regarding sales. Now, on a rapport side, I mean, Gandalf will sit with you. He will smoke with you. He will sing and share stories with you. He will certainly share experience with you. Shared misery. You want that? That'll help bond real fast, right, with other people. But he doesn't start sharing stories about when I was in the East, right, and trying to rapport with somebody who was there, right, or the last time I was in Mordor. It doesn't really come out that way, does it? Right. So two interesting things there. One about just him being himself, and like, you like me or you don't, right? Or which is a lot more likable than somebody like Grima Wormtongue maybe trying to make you like him or manipulate you like crazy. Uh, and then on the sales side, laying it out there, right? And we talk about the methods, we can talk about the solution, right? It's over there. I got this thing. It works, right? I'm not going to make you buy it, though. It's up to you. It's your decision, right? I've laid it out there, right? And so that's I think a more confident, calmer attitude or base to come from, right, of yourself, where you're not pushing too hard. There's that Gestalt theory, right? If I push, the other person pushes back, right? If I move away, they move forward to fill the space. We use this in martial arts as well, right? Create space, people try and fill it up. You can witness this on the highway. If there's open space, somebody is going to put their foot down on the accelerator and fill it up, right? It's like a gas. So just some thoughts here about rapport, right? We're not trying to be too likable and trying too hard to build that bond at the beginning. Very difficult, right? They have to know that you care, right, before they care about you. And when you go overboard trying to be too likable, it's actually a lever that prospect can use against you, and they will. And they might not even do it deliberately, but they're going to get free stuff out of you in your attempt, in your desire to be liked. Okay. And I've been talking about that for a long time. I'm sure if we went back to the sales tactics videos and salestactics.org blog, there'd be articles about it. The dangers of being too likable, right? And wanting to be liked, because it puts you in this position where that prospect can push you around, right? whether they intend to or not. You're not representing yourself, the organization, and whatnot in the strongest possible way. So go in there, be yourself. Don't be too concerned about creating rapport. I don't really worry about it too much. I know my intention is to help people, and that's pretty much what comes across, right? And then they either take it or leave it, right? It's like, you want to learn from me or you don't, right? And that, I think, is a lot of like course selling and training selling and things like that. Is like that. It's like, who do you want to learn from, right? Who are you comfortable learning from? There are different ways of doing things. There's information about different processes all over the place for whatever. Photography, right? I got a bunch of photography guys I follow. I own a lot of photography gear and I love it, right? But the people that I follow, it's not because of their technical knowledge. I can get that in 100 different places, right? I follow these 8 or 10 guys because I enjoy watching them. I enjoy learning from them. I enjoy the way they present themselves, their content, right? How they choose to do it. And maybe they surprise me every so often. But a lot of them, it's just like a friend taking you outside with some gear and be like, let's try this. And they happen to be in the moors of Scotland or something like that, right? So it's just a little more photogenic. But they're not trying to build rapport with me over some lens or something like that, right? They're just being themselves and doing what they do. And so I think it's a great reminder for folks who maybe have tried really hard to make that rapport stage work. Take the foot off the gas in that stage. Okay. Let it go by. There's always a chance later to develop rapport. What you really want, and people, I think they look at rapport as part of that know, like, trust thing. And I've never been a big fan of that know, like, trust thing. Most of you know, right? The Challenger Sale book blows that away as to like how you can get that so fast. And my answer to that is relevance. Are you relevant to that prospect? Okay. There's a lot of people who watch every so often when there's an economic panic, these video sales letters about gold, silver, right, precious metals, and that come out, right? Why do you think people watch that stuff for an hour and a half? It isn't because the presenter's so awesome. It's because they're relevant, because the viewer feels like they're learning something that they want to learn, that they're learning something valuable, and they can tolerate this person, right? And they'll sit there like, oh yeah, it isn't about rapport. I'm sure they feel if you ask them that announcer doesn't care about them. They're just offering this information that viewer wants. Okay, so roll that around and see what difference it would make in your prospecting approach, your sales approach. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.